Hello and welcome to another MCO market update on Bitcoin. Here on the Bitcoin chart, the market is still in a downtrend, in a local downtrend. We're on the daily chart, by the way. We have not yet seen any confirmed trend reversal to the upside, but the assumption is that this reversal could happen soon, could happen shortly, because we are in a key area. You know, we are hovering around the 50% retracement level there of our support zone, between 69k and 82k, and from there, ideally, a recovery rally would follow. That could be a recovery rally in wave 5 or a B wave bounce. So far, no clear confirmation for a low. Also, as some of you know, I am following the stock indices as well. The Nasdaq was covered yesterday on our More Trading Online channel. Check it out. It's linked in the video description. Most of these, also S&P that I cover as well in our stocks membership, it might need another low. So I'm very much watching these as well, because my assumption was that Bitcoin would follow the Nasdaq here earlier this week. It's not always doing that, but I saw tendencies, and it's done that so far. So we saw that people talked about a Black Monday, right? That was advertised widely on television, especially in the US. Of course, there was no Black Monday. Of course, it was a bounce. We did get a bounce in most stocks, and also the S&P and the Nasdaq. Of course, you know, how else could it be? Inverse karma for those of you who follow it. Anyway, the idea was that we should follow the Nasdaq. It's doing that at the moment. We had a bounce, and we'll take a look at the shorter time frame in a minute, but all of these indicate there could be another low. Doesn't have to be. I mean, this correction has done on the larger time frame, especially what it needs to be. We're just waiting now for signals that resistance breaks, but at the same time, until resistance breaks, the local trend is still down. So it's still catching a falling knife situation. And we're also watching, next support at 69k, so there could be a final low potentially. But please note that an assessment of whether another low is likely, that can change from one moment to another, depending on whether resistance breaks or not. That's also why we pay very, very close attention to resistance levels every single day, Every single day we pay attention to resistances on our charts, micro resistances on the short-term charts, very, very important. So if you want to stay up to date, make sure you subscribe. Obviously, the Bitcoin chart is covered multiple times daily. We also pay attention here to the descending trend line that could provide some resistance for the price, potentially, and then when the market finally starts to recover, again, it could be a B wave, could be something more bullish. We are still in a confirmation phase to understand whether Bitcoin has already put a major top in place or not, but either way, we should come close to a more substantial low that would be followed likely by at least a B wave bounce in the red scenario, which is the more bearish one. So once we start to see the structure of that rally, we might be able to determine more clearly, is it the red scenario, is it the white count, Now, let's talk about the shorter time frame for BTC. What you can see here is that the market recovered nicely yesterday. That was in line with expectations, a test of resistance. It is possible that Bitcoin has found a top in wave 4 already. I did say, if we really zoom into the microstructure, I did say I would actually prefer a wider wave 4, just purely because this wave 2 that unfolded between the 31st of March and the 2nd of April, just because this took like a couple of days, right? 2 to 3 days. So also the wave 4 could take a couple of days. Ideally, talking about what would actually be ideal. And it doesn't have to happen. I mean, for me, the levels are more important. And as I said before, as long as the market stays below $81,280, there is absolutely no evidence a low is in. Also, this rally looks like a 3-wave move up. So that also means we have no, let's say, evidence that a substantial low formed. So today, the focus is on whether yesterday's high holds, because this is exactly where that 50% retracement is located. Any decisive break above resistance could indicate that a more substantial price low has already formed, and we are seeing that larger recovery rally. Again, at the moment, I would prefer another low. And that's simply because the move down does look incomplete, but we're at a point where the market is very oversold. It's just important to understand what are the signal levels that need to be broken to indicate a low is formed. So we'll keep you updated. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.